Today is November 18th, 2024, and I'm coming to you today with tools for your toolbox, spiritual toolbox, that is, number 2. And today I want to discuss Dr. Scott Werner's book, The Next Step in Human Evolution. You can get this on Amazon. It's really cheap. It's maybe $10. I highly recommend this book to put in your spiritual toolbox. It's not that long. It might take you maybe 2 hours to read. But I've read this book about 3 times, and every time I read it, I get something new out of it. It seems to almost be encoded spiritually with other ideas that come through and intuition sparks. So I just wanted to talk about it briefly and tell you why I think it's so important. So for those of you that don't know who Dr. Scott Werner is, he has now been passed. He went home to his spiritual home not too long ago, within the last year, I think. He was a medical doctor in Utah, in OB/GYN, and he was actually curing women of certain diseases with natural herbal remedies, and the medical center came down on him really hard for doing that. And he defied their direction to stop healing women with non-pharma means. And he refused. So what does the government do when they have a rogue doctor that is especially curing women of certain things? They usually get the IRS after you, and that's what they did. And if they come after anybody, I'm sure they can find something somewhere to charge you with, because that's their job. And they did put him in prison for a short time. While in prison, he was visited by high-level angelic beings, including Saint Germain, and they told him that he needs to take a plea deal so that he can get out, because they need him outside in the world doing his mission. So he took the plea bargain and the fines, and he lost his medical license, but he continued to practice as a doctor and healer. And you can find a lot of stuff about him on YouTube. He still has a lot of his videos up. So I highly recommend you watch some of those. They're very informative about natural healing and cures, and about his journey and experiences, which are extremely interesting, I think. So again, back to his book, The Next Step in Human Evolution. I'm just going to read you a bit on the back. I need to put my reading glasses on because I can't see without them. It says, industrial capitalists have created an environmental catastrophe through the use of toxic chemicals, heavy metals, radioactive pollutants, and even nano-robotic brain and nervous system control technologies. These contaminants have infiltrated our water sources, the air we breathe, our food, having a severe impact on the human race and our ability to live a normal, healthy life. Due to this constant barrage of toxins, detoxing these contaminants from the body is no longer possible using conventional methods. Sometimes something greater is needed, something that could only be provided from a higher dimension. And Dr. Scott Werner has been given the answer. Appearing to him one night while traveling, Saint Germain presented a simple solution to our current polluted global condition. Saint Germain says, I come to you with an answer. Evolution is the answer and is inevitable for survival on this beautiful planet, and I will tell you how this is to be done. So again, I've read this from cover to cover about 3 times, and I'm going to read it again because it's short and it's interesting and it's packed full of information. He does discuss how he went to Mount Shasta to connect with the beings from Telos. And I did read this on a previous podcast, but I want to read it again because I get this question a lot. How come our star family or extraterrestrials just don't land? How come they don't land on the White House lawn or Why don't they show up? And this book presents it perfectly. And I have spoken to ETs myself, extraterrestrials, beings not of the planet Earth, and they tell me the same things. They are afraid of us. So this is what the Telos beings told Dr. Scott Werner. Scott, we know why you have come on this journey. And the journey they're speaking of is to California, to Mount Shasta. And we appreciate your thoughts and desires of visiting our home. The humans in charge are not yet ready for our civilization to come out, and we do not desire for them to find us until they evolve, becoming peaceful, not filled with hatred and fear. If your government found us now in their primitive state, they would study us with their so-called scientists, take our technology, interrogate us, then kill us, as they have so many they call aliens. They would come with machinery, digging out the entrance, and invade our home. So this is why extraterrestrials don't just stop in. They have government agencies and technologies that are always on the lookout for extraterrestrial craft to enter our airspace. And I think it's recently where I saw a news article saying that our military shot one down. So this is what they're dealing with. This is why they have to be very, very careful. There is a lot of good out there. A lot of other people out in the star system that might not look just like us. And I have, again, I have spoken to ETs that said the same thing. One lady, she's not from here. She had a body made for her to come here and live a life on Earth so she can report back what she's seeing and finding in her experience. She looks human. She's native looking, Native American looking, and her body's just a little different. And one of the 3-letter agencies abducted her and gave her an autopsy while she was alive. So she was tortured, and it was very traumatic for her. And so she told me face to face she really doesn't like humans because so many are brainwashed zombies, cookie cutter, and she just doesn't like humans. So this is why they just don't land or show up. It's dangerous for them, and plus it's dangerous for us, the people that they do contact. They have to be very careful because they don't want to put me in harm's way or anybody else. Many of them are spiritually advanced. Here on Earth, our technology is more advanced than our spirituality. So that's why they just don't land. They get shot down, they get killed, they get tortured, they get put in prisons, their technology is taken. And it's usually used for nefarious purposes. I mean, our government has all kinds of high-tech technology from downed craft, and we get scraps of it while they keep it all to themselves. So Saint Germain communicated with Dr. Werner quite a bit. And Saint Germain came up with a beautiful, positive plan to help humanity overcome the poisonings that we are exposed to on a daily basis. Toxins, petrochemicals, radiation, germ warfare, and metals, nanotechnology. So Saint Germain tells Dr. Werner in this book that evolution is the answer and is inevitable for survival on this beautiful planet. Saint Germain said that the first humans that were here were a perfect genetic copy in every way, a reflection of the perfection and love of Source, the God energy. And over the many, many years, our genetics and DNA has been messed with. Every time I have to be very careful with my wording. So every time you get one of these in your upper arm, it damages your telomeres and your DNA. It shortens your life, it changes it, it tweaks it, promotes cancer, things like that. So our DNA has been altered from its original state, from the first humans. So Saint Germain says that we can return to the 24 strands of DNA from which we were originally. And back to extraterrestrials, which extraterrestrial means a being or person not from Earth. That's all. They're not here right now. They're outside of Earth. So Saint Germain says that there are many beings from many planets and systems that are ancestors to Earth humans. And I have mentioned that in previous videos also. That's why I call those who contact me star family. My family, meaning genetics from the stars, not from Earth. So in this book, Saint Germain lays out a prayer or an invocation or whatever you want to call it, manifestation tool to raise your genetics, your DNA, back to more of its original state. So what I did is I printed out this manifestation prayer. It's about 1 page long. It takes about 3 minutes to say it. And Saint Germain instructed him to put this in the book. It's called the 24 Strand of DNA Manifestation. It's to be done out loud. So when you say something out loud, it adds more power to it, more frequency to it. It is the word. So if you believe that you are a spark of divine energy from Creator Source, you have a spark of this Creator Source energy that you can call upon and bring in. Just like Jesus said, what I can do, you can do even more. Jesus was a way shower. I consider him part of my star family. And Master Jesus has visited me several times in the past year and ever since 2012, my near-death experience. So no, I'm not dealing with demons. I'm dealing with the angelic realm. I do go into the demonic realm to take them out. I know the difference between the two. I can read frequencies. So getting back to the 24-strand DNA manifestation. So again, Saint Germain says you should say it out loud and say it 12 times 12 times. Each 12 manifestations raise the frequency of the body, emotions, mental, and spirit to a higher vibratory rate. Saying it 48 times raises your strands of DNA to the 4th dimension. 96 strands of DNA for the fifth dimension, and so on and so forth. So what I did is I printed off the 24 strand DNA manifestation prayer, and I take it with me to work or wherever I go in case I have some downtime. And this is how I keep track of it. Every time I say it, I give myself another line. And then at the top, because you're supposed to say it 12 times 12 times, so I'm doing this to keep track. Just to give you an idea of how I'm keeping track of it. I really didn't plan ahead for this podcast, but I just kept feeling the nudging to talk about it. So I'm really not prepared. This is kind of an off-the-cuff kind of thing. But I really just wanted to get this out because I think it's that important. And again, it was kind of poking at me all day today. What else can I share from this book? This is a really interesting book. He gives all kinds of nuggets about different things on how do you face the storms. What do you do when you're in a situation that's stressful or scary? He talks about the archangel cards that a lady showed him. What else? And of course, his visit to Mount Shasta. That was quite interesting, actually. He also has another chapter about putting our world in divine order. He says Saint Germain went on to describe the method of divine transformation. Saint Germain says, by design of nature, our bodies are highly adaptable. We can accelerate our adaptation using forces of high thinking and frequencies to clear our karma, personality defects, negative thought forms, and energies. So we all have it within us. It's just that we're told that we don't. But we do. Here, he says, what is the whole purpose of life but to gain mastery? We are here to become masters of ourselves and learn how to master and work with the divine currents of energy. Because everything is energy. If you understand that everything has a frequency, that's kind of half the battle. So then you have to think in frequency. It's just like I have connected with people who have passed over. Some people might call them dead people. I call them they've just transitioned back home. And they're in a frequency that is beyond our hearing and vision capabilities. So when you're in the physical body, your visual spectrum is like from here to here. They're over here. Same with your hearing. You can hear frequencies from here to here, and they're over here, just out of reach, or behind the veil, whatever you want to call it. So it's just another frequency. It's just like Master Jesus. He's in another frequency. It takes an open heart and an open mind to connect with the masters and with other beings. And I've learned over the years how to read their frequency, so I know who I'm talking telepathic with. I know who they are by their frequency, their signature frequency. Everybody has one. We don't, in the higher realms, go around shaking each other's hand and say, hi, I'm Cassandra, and oh, I'm Jesus. It doesn't work that way. You just know who they are. You just know. It's just that when you're in the physical body, in this 3D reality, you're kind of cut off from all that. So it sounds kind of outrageous, but that's our natural state. This is just a temporary physical experience behind the veil. That's all. And again, you're here for purpose. You're here to master energy, your thoughts, your behaviors, how you deal with things, how you create your life. So yeah, this book is really interesting. I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $10. Great book. Another book that I bought off Amazon that's kind of along a similar path it's called The Prayers to the Seven Sacred Flames by Aurelia Louise Jones. I think you can get this on Amazon too. It's not very big, but I find it's really packed full of interesting prayers and invocations and things to think about. And it covers all kinds of situations. Blessing of food, daily prayer for those who are leaving the earth today, prayer to Mother Earth, prayer for protection, prayer for peace. I open my heart to thee, adoration to your God presence. And she starts by giving out some simple instructions on how to use the prayer booklet. One of the things she says is that prayer is with intention and a loving heart. It is best to say each prayer vocally for maximum effect. So here you have another person saying, not only do you read it and take in the vibration of the word with your eyes, but it goes through your head and out your mouth. And that frequency comes out your mouth, and the word creates. On the back it says, it does not matter what religion you embrace. Using spiritually encoded prayers, affirmations, and decrees will gradually raise your vibration and accelerate your transformation. It is among the most effective ways to gather the energies of love and light within your chakras and every aspect of your being. Make a habit of using these prayers in your daily life to invoke the light from above, to purify the many layers of density and karmic residues you have accumulated over a long period of incarnations. The science of invocation, or the spoken word, when done diligently with love and devotion, assists you in reconnecting with your higher self. It increases the amount of light you can carry within all aspects of your beingness, thus preparing you for your ascension. When this great light is invoked daily, it builds an ever-increasing momentum of sacred energy within you, which you can use with any way you choose to heal yourself, to raise your vibration, to rejuvenate and harmonize your body, to clear your burdens and challenges, and to transform your life into a divine experience. We invite you to experience these wondrous tools to change your life, to raise your vibration and bring about the wondrous changes you have been wishing for. So again, this is put out by Mount Shasta Light Publishing. Great little tool. I have lots of prayers flagged. I take this to work with me also, because sometimes I sit in the day hall to monitor the patients and I have extra time, or if I'm at lunch or right before work. I always say a prayer before I enter the building, before I go to work. So yeah, so these are two great little books that I recommend. I don't make any money off of the sales of those books. I am not in any way associated with the publishing or marketing or anything like that. These are just little tools in my toolbox, my spiritual toolbox, that I wanted to share with the public. So that ends my spiritual toolbox tool number 2 video. If anybody has any questions or comments, please put them below. What I do is I record these videos live. I download them and then I upload them to Rumble and BitChute on my channel called Purple Lion Project. Because I'm not a very techie person and I don't know how to do a YouTube or Rumble or a BitChute live. So I'm just using the technology that I have kind of figured out. So for those of you that are seeing this on Rumble or BitChute, that's my process. My name is Cassandra S. Willock, formerly Dunn. And you can find me on Facebook until Facebook decides to take me down. So, anywho, well, thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below on my Facebook page. Or if you're watching this on Rumble or BitChute, I always try to respond. So thank you. Let me see if I have any questions before I sign out. Nope, I don't. I know it's kind of late. All right, guys. You have a blessed night, and I'll talk to you real soon.